Hey everybody, welcome back to No Jumper News. I'm Adam22, here with your man AD. Let's get right into these stories. So first things first, Joe Rogan has weighed in on Cain Velasquez's arrest, wishing the former UFC heavyweight champion used his hands instead of a weapon. On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, the UFC commentator discussed Cain Velasquez's alleged actions with former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping. Velasquez was arrested for allegedly shooting at a man accused of repeatedly molesting a close relative 100 times, according to reports and court documents. He's facing multiple charges, including attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon. Considering the potential motive of Velasquez's actions, Joe Rogan and Michael Bisping both agreed that the former heavyweight champion was justified in his actions. It's beyond sick, Michael Bisping said. That guy deserves everything that Cain did. Well, Cain actually got the father, didn't he? Not the guy himself, sadly. According to reports, Cain Velasquez was chasing Harry Golarte and fired a gun several times at a truck carrying him, his mother, and his stepfather. The stepfather was driving the vehicle, and he was the only person struck with a bullet during the incident. I mean, my only wish is that he did it with his hands, Rogan said. My only wish is that he just ran the car off the road, pulled the guy out of the fucking car, and beat him to death. Fuck you. Even that would have been too good for him, Bisping added. Cain Velasquez is currently in custody at the Santa Clara County, Maine jail, where he awaits arraignment when the judge could decide to set bail. If convicted of attempted murder, he faces a minimum of 20 years to life in prison, including additional time if found guilty on other charges. According to a police report, Harry Golarte was recently charged with molesting a close relative of Velasquez and was out on bail. That is a sickness, Rogan said. There's like a certain sickness that people have, that human beings have, as a sickness of the mind. But that one, the molesting a fucking baby, the molesting children, is the sickest of all those sicknesses. You always feel terrible about these situations, and it seems like they come across our awareness in the news here and there, where you'll have somebody who did something that's like unquestionably one of the worst things you can do, whether it's raping somebody or molesting somebody's kid or whatever, and then somebody reacts in the way that you would want to react. If somebody did that to your family, your flesh and blood, of course you would have no possible limit to the amount of violence that you would want to inflict upon them. But then, of course, in the eyes of the court system, if you shoot somebody, you shoot somebody. It doesn't matter if you have a good reason or not. So these situations are fucked up. I don't actually know every last detail about how this guy had access to the kid that he was allegedly molesting, or why Cain Velasquez was even able to meet up with him, or what. But I mean, it's a terrible situation, and it's gonna really be a shame if you've got this guy who, I mean, the guy who did the molesting, he can get locked up. That's all good. But then you might have Cain Velasquez having to go do however many years just for shooting the other dude. And then you also got this kid who's been molested, who's obviously going to be scarred for life. I mean, there's no winner in this situation at all.
I'm not mad at bro at all. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully the DA, hopefully the jury, they take it light on him. They should understand the seriousness of that, especially with a child. And, just wait till that nigga go in jail anyway, because they're going to take care of him. Then justice will be served, I promise you that. And the way it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Sick fuck.
Because, I mean, imagine if you were Cain Velasquez and you were in that situation where you wanted to do something to this guy, you have the opportunity to, and you just don't because you're scared of going to prison. I mean, I would respect that too, because realistically, like, if you can have that self-control that allows you to, stay your ass out of trouble, then I respect it. But man, I mean, that would have to be like the most self-control that you would ever exerted in your entire life to know that something like that occurred and to not do something about it.
It ain't happening. If I would have seen him, I would have to do the same thing. I would see blood if that was my family member right there.
Yeah, but
ain't no excuses. You got to stand for honor. At the end of the day, fuck sitting in jail. That's worth doing the time for.
But at the end of the day, you got to be tactical about your shit. And I'm sure Cain Velasquez got a couple of homies.
Shots. He tried.
But I'm sure he got a couple of homies that would have been happy to sit in a fucking Honda Accord waiting outside this guy's apartment for like $500, and they could have handled it for him, and they could have got the job done.
And it would have been worse though.
Yeah. Okay, and we're actually going to do a breaking topic. We were going to talk about some other things, but then this topic just came out. So, AD, introduce us.
In a lengthy Instagram post, DaBaby addressed Lil Durk's affiliate, Memo 600's comments about his recent collab tape with NBA YoungBoy. Cain can't blame DaBaby. He thought that man was gonna save his career. DaBaby shared a screenshot of the tweet shared, his thoughts on the idea of taking sides, ultimately saying that he can't be influenced when it comes to choosing business partners. Y'all cowboy ass niggas funny as hell, DaBaby wrote. Y'all on the internet playing trying to run y'all stripes up when y'all big dog in my DM waving the white flag. Y'all niggas must not be on the same page over there at OTF. But check this out. It ain't a gang, city, nigga, or neighborhood in the world scary enough to make DaBaby pick and choose who to get money with, nigga. I ain't one of them. He continued, you niggas don't like it, do something. I played it cool because y'all niggas want to make it about y'all partner, and I don't speak on the dead because I'm on that for reals. Every day, I wake up ready to teach me a nigga like you. DaBaby also mentioned King Von saying he stood on business. So long live him. King Von got my respect. He stood on business. No excuses. It was just another nigga there ready to stand on business too. That's how we living. That's what's gangsta, is it ain't? But the rest of you hoe-ass internet niggas trying to be cool off your boy name and some hoes. It's the niggas y'all got around that ain't doing all that talking that I respect and still never fear, but you mascot-ass niggas quit it. We are not the same, my boy. Ask your big dog. Now go call some real gangsters and stuff for you pussy. I'm gonna be right here waiting to rock out.
Okay, it stands out to me that DaBaby, despite obviously clearly being on some gangster shit, we all know about gangster situations that he's been involved in, he doesn't seem like a guy who's terribly interested in clicking up between these warring hip-hop factions. Like, I don't think that he thought when he did a tape with YoungBoy, I think he thought that he was just making a tape that was probably going to do pretty good and, you know, appeal to YoungBoy's huge fan base and everything. I don't think that he thought that he was hopping into the Chicago versus YoungBoy gang war that's been going on. So, I don't know. All this is a little wild to me. Like, the Memo 600 dude feeling the need to say that. It's kind of like, well, if Baby didn't pick out any specific things to say, if he had bars on that album that felt like they were disrespectful to King Von or O Block or whatever, then I could fully understand this. But I listened to the tape yesterday and I don't really see it. It doesn't really feel like this album is part of that warring gang universe. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and it's wrong to throw DaBaby up in there when he's just doing business at the end of the day. Like, you know, and like he said, it look weak if the leader of the pack ain't talking about it. You know what I mean? And it is the people that's on the sidelines that'll make the shit crack off and turn this into something even bigger than it already is at the end of the day. So, you know, like, I can't rock with that. Like that, you know what I mean?
Imagine if you were buddies with YoungBoy and you and YoungBoy had done a whole tape together and you're happy as shit because you're like, I'm putting a tape out with YoungBoy, it's probably gonna sell better than anything I put out in recent memory. And then you start thinking, oh shit, well, it could end me in some beef with some dudes that I don't even know in Chicago. I mean, would that be enough to make you not put the tape out? Realistically, I'm probably putting the tape out if I'm DaBaby, because really, who gives a fuck? Like, I feel like people should be grown enough that they could do music with somebody and not take sides. Like, obviously, Gucci Mane got caught up in all this as well. Gucci Mane had to put out a YoungBoy diss because he got caught in the middle of it because he did a song with Durk. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like a lot of these like titans in the rap game are kind of being like dragged down to this lower level of communication and being asked to like pick sides in this fucking silly ass gang war that if you really all up in it, okay, I feel you. But if you're just an artist, I feel like it's kind of silly.
Yeah, and you know, it's like I said before, it's like if the bosses, the big chess pieces on the board, if they're not speaking on something, everybody needs to heed and, you know what I'm saying, and make sure it's cool before they start fucking up other business, because it's still the music industry. People still got to run into each other at the end of the day, and everybody got money, everybody got shit that they can play around with. It ain't gonna end well if everybody's just warring.
My thing though too though is I can think of some pretty good reasons why Lil Durk would want him to keep his mouth shut here. Number one, the fact that he's still got this like attempted murder charge that he's gonna have to go to court for at some point. And then even on top of that, all those dudes from O Block who are clearly Lil Durk affiliates who got charged with the murder of FBG Duck. You know, I would assume that Durk is thinking in the back of his head, or not really in the back of his head, probably at the forefront of his head, that he wants to steer very, very clear of publicly affiliating himself with gang shit, because he's got a whole bunch of cases and other people have cases, and he doesn't want to be dragged in and charged with a gang conspiracy thing for a murder that he wasn't even around for. So I feel like if Durk is keeping quiet, it's probably for good reason.
I agree.
YouTube, do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and we will be back real soon. And also subscribe to No Jumper Clips. Appreciate y'all.